We begin tonight with a Colorado perspective on tonight's presidential debate between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Some high-profile Colorado politicians offered their thoughts and insight into what voters should expect in tonight's debate. KREX 5's Adrian Thomas has this exclusive report and joins us live in the studio with more details. Adrian?
Rob, today I spoke to former U.S. Secretary of the Interior Ken Salazar. He's campaigning for Biden in Colorado and served with him in the Obama administration. I also caught up with Republican incumbent U.S. Senator Cory Gardner, who's facing a tough race against Democrat challenger John Hickenlooper. Both politicians offered their thoughts on what's going to get Colorado voters behind their candidates and discussed other heated topics that may play into the debate tonight, such as the vacant seat on the U.S. Supreme Court.
The stage is being set in Cleveland tonight for a debate between President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. When asked about the debate, Republican Senator Cory Gardner says the economy will be a big topic.
You have a vision by Joe Biden who wants more government taxes, more government regulations. He wants to overturn the great work that we've done to lead to economic success in this country.
Ken Salazar, a longtime Colorado Democrat who served as U.S. Senator and Secretary of the Interior in the Obama administration, says President Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic will be a major talking point.
COVID-19 has really taken the wind out of the world, but out of the United States. We are really in dire straits as a nation, and the person who owns that is Donald Trump.
Gardner says economic recovery from the pandemic could be a major topic too. Another major topic that will likely be brought up in the debate or the debates to come is the vacancy on the Supreme Court after the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Senate Republicans are expected to hold a confirmation hearing for President Trump's appointment, Judge Amy Coney Barrett.
The election ought to be held. And if Donald Trump is the winner, then to move forward to the confirmation process, let that play out as it will. If, on the other hand, Joe Biden is a winner, which we expect will happen, then Joe Biden should get to nominate the person to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
In 2016, Barack Obama appointed Merrick Garland to fill a Supreme Court vacancy, and his confirmation was stalled by Republicans. In 2020, it's now a different scenario.
A lot of people are pointing fingers at Democrats and Republicans, saying it's just a 180 of 2016. What's your response to that?
Well, if you look at 2016, you had a lame duck president of a different party than the Senate. So that hadn't happened with the confirmation process going back to the late 1800s. So we're following precedent, using our advice and consent to constitutional obligations to put a Supreme Court justice who's well qualified onto the court.
Also in our conversation, Cory Gardner confirmed with me he was meeting with Amy Coney Barrett this afternoon as she begins the confirmation process. He said she's an incredibly talented jurist and one of the top legal minds. Salazar, the Biden campaign, and Gardner's opponent John Hickenlooper fear an appointment of Barrett could mean the end of the Affordable Care Act, leading to millions of people losing health insurance. The first presidential debate begins tonight at 7 p.m. and you can watch CBS News' special coverage right here on KREX.